Hello, this is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcast. It is April 22nd, 2023. I'm going to do the disclaimer. There it is. We have to do it every time. This is about how stalkers use phones and apps and such to stalk. Voyeurism. Mr. Perry has a problem with voyeurism. It's a lot worse than this is about human trafficking. They're under police investigation. Mr. Perry doesn't want to admit to that. That's not my problem. It's really not. We've quoted you guys every fucking day for years. So why are we gathering that intel? Why is that intel being gathered? And I document it here. It's best if we document it before you do it, because then we can say, well, when they did this XYZ crime, and it's 20 things every day to me, then they premeditated it. Here's the recording of them planning it. That was done on XYZ day at XYZ time, and the actual crime was committed days later or months later. We've got thousands of them, Mr. Perry. What you're doing isn't even benefiting you. So he thinks that I've hinted at it, or that I would hint at who's investigating. No one is going to tell you that. It's a need to know. It's very confidential. You're not going to impair or interfere with the integrity of that investigation. You're not going to do it. You guys have made a lot of phone calls trying to figure out who it is. Nobody will help you with that. Nobody's telling you that. We don't have leaks. You know why? Because people are disgusted with what you're doing. Absolutely, it's illegal for a reason. The conduct that offends a civilized society is illegal for a reason. There's a reason everybody doesn't do it. Stupid. So this right here, nobody cares about me calling you names. You are blowing people's lives up. You're the only one that cares, princess. Everybody is sick of you. I can get information at the snap of a finger. You can't. That's what you're not getting. There's not a hint. Mr. Perry has lied to himself and bullshitted himself and everybody else for years. She's hinting at it, and I'm just not getting the hint, and she's mad at me, and that is bullshit. What we're mad at you about is that you're not getting the cause and effect. When you do the crime to me, you get caught because you're making people sick at their stomach. What you're doing is not just illegal, it's sick, it's twisted. You guys do stuff no normal person could think up if they had to. Can't do it. You got a sex weirdo club. The stuff that you're doing is making people very angry and very sick and very nauseous and very creeped out. It's deviant. It's weirdo. You are weirdo. And not one bit embarrassed. I'm asking the shrink, why in the hell does he have such an easy time embarrassing the ever-living crap out of himself and everybody else? But he's not embarrassed. I mean, everybody else is embarrassed. He's not. I'm embarrassed by the guy. I'm embarrassed for the guy. And he doesn't give it a second thought. And she said long ago, I believe him to be severely mentally ill and severely mentally retarded, and he has no idea that he should be. Half the time he has no fucking idea what you just said. You can tell by his reactions, he doesn't understand what you said. I believe that he has Alzheimer's or senile dementia or something like that. Aphasia. He absolutely has no idea what you said, or that what just happened should embarrass the crap out of him and does everybody else. Doesn't know. So it comes out later he's got Huntington's disease, which causes the mental illness part, paranoia, hallucinations, delusion, and psychosis. He is psychotic. And the second part, the severe mental retardation she referred to, is the impaired cognitive reasoning. Retard means to be held back. You're very held. I mean, we're just like, she's at this point, because he gets caught every time he contacts me, every time he continues to ask who his leaks are. I fucking hate it. I don't want to help you. We all want for you to be gone. The fact that you're not understanding how sick and tired of this bullshit, the rape, the rape, it's rape. You are not wanted. You are not loved. You are a rejected failure. Too stupid to figure out how to go be normal. Get off your ass. Go work. Stop perverting around, acting like a 2-year-old little girl. Work. Get away from me. I don't care what you think. I did not ask you. Shut the fuck up and get the hell away from me and my family. And when you don't, we get more, because you're giving us more to get. Yeah, I mean, it's not even benefiting you, and yet you guys go right back at it every day like a dog to his vomit, and everybody else is going, ew, gross. Oh my God, here we go again. Wow, oh my God. Here we go again. He fucking did it again. Who the hell is that stupid? So that's what the shrink says. There's an explanation for the stupidity, at least for Mr. Perry. We don't know about everybody else. Your contact isn't wanted. No one cares what you think. You are not asked. You were told not to contact me. And when you do, we find out more. Everybody's sick of you. The fact that you're not getting that, that's the point of frustration. Not that there's a hint and you're just not picking up on it. Nobody's hinting, sir. There's been a lot of effort put in keeping the integrity of the investigation, so you don't know who it is. So your phone calls have come up with nothing. You don't have any names of anybody helping me. You don't have a quote of their meetings. We have names and we quote you every damn day. Every day. And you don't understand the significance of that, and that is what we're frustrated with you. Most people have the good sense to stop when they get caught this much. Why wouldn't, so this is what police are supposed to do about stalking complaints. It is a federal crime to witness tamper. You're crossing state lines to do it, Mr. Perry. To witness tamper and to try to persuade someone to change their story. My story is on the court docket, like all over the place. I am not changing it. I'm not changing it. Your coercion, though, and your witness tampering, though, and the unbearable pressure you have put on me to do that, though, your intimidation tactics, are duly noted for the record. How many counts is he going to get you on that, huh? So, 1513 is retaliating against a witness. So they got caught again last night. Mr. Perry has gone all over. By the way, we understand that you have tried still. This is not the first time we've said this. It's not like we don't know. We've already said it over and over and over and over and over. That's why the shrink thought maybe you had Alzheimer's before we knew it was Huntington's disease. Because for you, you got to say the same thing over and over and over and over, and it's still not clicking for you. Or a week later, you forget that we already said this. You're already caught on this. We've already talked about it, and over and over and over. Use her family to try to talk her into leaving Oklahoma because she keeps catching our crime. Use her family. Call her family. Try to talk them into talking her into this and that, and illegal this and illegal that, witness tamper, coercion, witness. Use her family to kidnap her. Use her family to do it. Duly noted for the record. Duly noted for the record. Where I live, when and where I work, is none of your business, sir. If you weren't doing the crime to me, you wouldn't be caught this much. Maybe you had to stop doing the crime to me, dumbass. So, I don't care what disease you have. No one cares what... you blow lives up. Blow them up. Believe me, the cops investigating you on our side, and that judge does not care about your hurt little feelings because you got called a name. He's concerned about you trying to kill me. What you did to Mike and Lucky and their family. What you've done with trying to get my car. A traffic ticket that you arranged. Right? Trying to, your false arrests. First it's a drug trafficking, and then it's prostitution by stalk, and then it's a jewelry thing, and then it's a murder. That's what he's concerned about. My safety, my well-being, me going without food, shelter, the deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. He doesn't give any craps about you getting called a name because you did that. It's about the losses. You haven't lost a thing. You haven't lost a thing. You're a prissy pants. You're a pussy. No one cares about you getting called a name when you blow somebody's life up and they lose everything they have. You haven't lost a fucking thing. There's no threat to your life. You're fat, you're lazy, you're a pervert, and you got caught in some very sick, twisted crime. Boo fucking who. Call your mommy. No one else wants to hear it. You piss, that helps us get intel because you piss people off. You're pissing people off, all of you. All of you. Everybody, it's important that you understand these words. Everybody is sick of you. Everybody's sick of you. I can get what you just said at the snap of a finger, David. And you can't. I'm going to name your people again, Lucius. I've never met these people that I know of in my life. We getting their names from intel. Every time Charles contacts me or takes something from me, we get more. We find out more. You're giving us more to find out. Lucius, Calvin, who's bald and fat, Sanjay, your hacker, Geppetto, you're a witch. They fucking hired a witch to cast spells on me, who's frustrated because it's not working. He keeps asking if I have sage, because sage is supposed to ward off evil spirits. You know what, Geppetto? You're a fucking weirdo. You don't see people running down to the Church of Satan to join up because it's fucked up and it's weirdo. How embarrassing for you, sir. Grown men aren't to play with little dolls. Did you not know that? You know whose church is packed full? Joel Osteen. He's a Christian. He serves Christ. Pathetic. Your Satan was defeated on the cross. Jesus rose again on the third day and defeated you. That's why I don't have sage. That's why it doesn't work for you. That's why it doesn't work for you. You had David and Saul. Saul starts seeking a sorcerer instead of just trusting God. And he went nutty. God allowed him to lose his mind. He went nuttier than a fruitcake. Poor David is anointed king and he's living in a fucking cave. And he's got Saul and his men trying to kill him. And it didn't work, did it? At the end of the day, God's plan came true. Saul fell on his own sword. Haman is impaled up on his own pole. Pharaoh is swallowed up in the Red Sea. Geppetto. What problem has your doll and your seances solved? Name one. I don't see one. And David was king. David is also the great, whatever, in the lineage of Jesus. God just honored the living daylights out of the guy, didn't he? David also slayed Goliath. He goes out to the battlefield to take his brother's food. And here's this idiot taunting, just like y'all do to me. And we got your fingerprints. We're going to frame you for a murder. We got your blood in your hair. Mr. Perry's typing that on my phone. We're going to frame you for a murder. We got your blood. We got your mitochondrial DNA. And we got your blood in hair and a video. And we're going to frame you for a murder. Duly noted for the record. Thanks for telling me before. This is not an afterthought to explain something away. And what it'll do, by the way, Mr. Perry, everything you're typing in my phone, they're sitting there recording that too. And it's supporting the other conversations that we've got, like your witnesses saying the girl that we saw do that is quite a bit heavier than Cynthia, has darker skin, and her hair's more blonde. Cynthia's is more of a white blonde. That girl's is blonde, yellow blonde. So we got it before, not after. It's not an afterthought to explain something away. Whatever goes, we've said this too over and over and over and over. If you're in law enforcement, if you're a judge, if you're a prosecutor, you better not be factually ignorant, because there's a judge on it investigating Mr. Perry who's making sure he's not factually ignorant. He makes sure he knows what's happening. That might include, well, it includes what happened with Justice Scalia. You don't have any impulse control, Mr. Perry. You have no control of yourself at all. No filters. So our shrink's like, as many times as we've caught these guys before, it speaks to his delusion that he thinks he has a choice when he's told, you got to stop. You stop. Because what's happening is you're being stopped every time we find out before and not after. So he still can't control himself. And I believe at this point it is severe. He needs to be hospitalized and sedated because he can't control himself. He's wicked, weird, crazy. Wicked, weird, crazy. He gets caught and he still does it. It's not just once or twice. It's not been a week or 2 weeks or a month or a year. It's been 7 years that you know of, Mr. Perry. When you do the crime to me and only me, right? Is it only me or is it not? That you know of, it's only me. Yeah, you say you don't know, but that'll come out in your criminal case. So what happens with David is he goes out and he's taking the food to to his brothers, and here's Goliath taunting like you do to me. Taunt, Geppetto, and torment and taunt, and David's like, what is going on here? And his brothers are like, he's challenging anybody that can, defeat him. And so far, nobody's willing to do that. And David's like looking around. He's like, all you guys are trained. You're trained experts and professionals in your field of battle. So, who is this who defies the armies of the living God? And that you're just letting him do this? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get this bitch. Watch me. And his brothers actually got mad. You're arrogant, they tell him. And he's like, somebody's got to get the giant. You guys you've been trained in this crap. You're professionals. And you're not doing a thing. I'm going to do it. Watch me. I'm going to out-cop you. I'm going to out-battle you. Because you're lazy. And you're a coward. And it's not helping anything. It's not working, is it? Here he is taunting. He goes to see Saul. Saul puts on his armor. The traditional way of doing things. Wear the armor. It doesn't fit David. David's like, I'm sorry, but I'm non-traditional. And this is not working for me. The goal is kill the giant. Period. That's the goal. This guy's taunted us long enough. Don't you think? All your trained men who are professionals aren't doing shit. I'm not wearing this crap. I'm doing it my way. I've been killing lions and bears for years. Watching my father's sheep. I've got this. I've got God. Me and God we've got this. Okay, fine. He goes back out there. He picks up his slingshot. That's his weapon. Non-traditional. He puts a rock in it. He reaches up and he holds the hand of his God. And he says, let's do this. He swings that thing around. The rock hits Goliath right between the eyes. And he goes down and he chops his head off. And victory is mine, says the Lord. Like it or not, Geppetto. Like it or not. So you're a weirdo. You want to act like a fucking weirdo? and run around doing these little weird shit you do, thinking that's how, you know, I don't know what you think. I can't even begin to speak to what you think. I know what y'all do is weirdo. And you get caught when you do it to me. There's 40 cops after you, and most of us are Christians, and one of them has a granny that prays every day. Charles, what do you get out of getting caught every day? You didn't even know what the hell I just said, do you? Nope, not a clue. So that's the frustration, is that when you try to explain something that's just logical, reasonable, prudent individual thinking, Mr. Perry doesn't understand a fucking thing you say, and he's out of control, and he's disgusting, and he's a deviant, and he's a rejected fail, and he's stupid. And I gotta deal with it. And it's hurting people. And I'm not okay with that. He gets caught when he does it to me. Fuck off, weirdo. You don't have a choice. As much as you're caught, it speaks to your deep delusion that you think you do. You don't. Fuck off. He's doing it for you every time we quote you. So this guy, last night, they want my family. Oh, we got to talk her into leaving Oklahoma. It's not up to you. When we got this, when we know that you have just discussed having my family, make me move. I came here to be with my family and get away from you. You fuck off. And when you don't, we get more intel. It doesn't even benefit you, you stupid little fuck. You're just a stupid, pathetic little fuck. You pick on women and children, and you think that makes you tough? You're a coward, and you're a pussy, and you're a nothing. You don't matter, I do. I can get information like that at the snap of a finger. You can't quote one of our meetings, you can't name one guy. Ask Geppetto. Ask Geppetto, you pathetic nothing. Get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of it. So because you think you have a choice and you think wrong, we find out you're talking about how our family make her move. So when we got that, it wasn't up to you, stupid. Where I work, when I work, what I do, where I live, is not your business. Get out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life. This came in last night because you bother me. When you bother me, when you do the crime to me, when you invade my privacy, when you take my money, bald fat Calvin, Geppetto, Lucius, David. Here's what my guy says. He goes, here's the 5 that are mostly in charge of fucking your life up in a very sick criminal way. Charles Perry, David Robertson, Lucius, bald fat Calvin, and Sanjay has now, as of late, been more involved in that too. So, we got this. Mr. Perry's telling people he's got Tourette's syndrome. He does not have Tourette's syndrome. He's got Huntington's disease, and it's becoming more and more apparent that I believe she might be right. He can't understand a damn thing you say. He doesn't understand what it means that they keep getting caught. He has no idea. Not a clue. So, and because he keeps going at her, maybe he does need to be hospitalized, and if he can't control himself, then that would include sedation per the doctor. What their doctor is saying. It's that bad. His health is declining. So he staged this whole big wedding thing because 4 years ago he forged her name to a marriage license to fuck up her finances, to get information illegally about her money. Chief Miller asked her about it. She denies signing this thing. He said it didn't look like her signature. I deny seeing it. I've not seen it. So 4 years later, now Mr. Perry wants to have a wedding. Force her to have a wedding, to take a picture to cover up the forgery. 4 years after the forgery. Wow. Doesn't get any stupider, sir. And he's trying to use her family to make her do it. Here's the thing, though, the guy says. I know exactly who this was. I'm not going to tell. What he said is, here's the thing, though. She found out about all this. It's not because Mr. Perry picked up the phone and called her and said, is it okay if I do this? Do I have your consent? It's from police investigating him, told her. And for 3 weeks, he's been trying to get her to go out to that club so he can pretty much kidnap her and use her family to coerce and tamper with her. And try to make her do this photo shoot so he can go, oh yeah, oh no, she did seek consent 4 years after a forgery to cover up the forgery. And it doesn't get any nuttier than that. It doesn't get any nuttier than that. So what she's saying about his mental status and his health decline is not wrong. And I'm not really inclined at this point to put my name on his bad decisions either. I'm concerned. The guys helping me, they have one priority, my safety and my well-being and Mike Neely's, and they don't give two flips about you and your hurt feelings because you got called a name. You're killing people. You're killing people. You've tried to kill me. Remember, you forget who it is you're talking to. These are the same guys that got you talking to a hitman who said, what do I do if she won't take the shot? And you said, you make sure she takes the shot. You tell her she'll die if she doesn't. Same guys that told me you trafficked me, and to who? These are serious, egregious, nasty, disgusting crimes. They're about to arrest you. We can't wait. Yesterday's not soon enough for me. I will get my privacy back. I will get my reputation back. I will get my family back. I will get my friends back. And you are fucked. And you chose that. Because all you had to do is leave me alone. All you had to do is leave me the fuck alone. Nobody's bothering you. You're getting caught bothering me. And I will never be broke again. And I won't have to lie or suck anybody's dick I don't want to suck. And that's what you're trying to make me do. Lie and be some kind of sex whatever. That's not my thing. Even when I was a dancer or an adult entertainer, I didn't do that, the extra shit in the back. I didn't do it. If you're good at what you do, you don't have to. You don't have to. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma, you coward. So, when a woman says, leave me the fuck alone, and you force yourself on her, and then you're getting kicked in the teeth, you are not a victim. Because all you have to do is get the fuck off of her and get out of her house. It's not hard. Most men will never do what you've done. Can't even think this shit up. They don't need a lie, and they don't need a cover up. And so, there's that. So this right here was from last night. And then I guess, I only DoorDash for, I don't know, a couple hours. And we get them, like, because Mr. Perry has his people call in, get around an algorithm, and somehow get me as the driver, then I take pictures of every fucking thing. Because what he's done is he'll have these people hand me the order. Then you don't take a picture, you just hand them the order, and then you hit on the app, I completed the delivery, I handed the guy the order. Then they call in and lie and say I didn't get the order. So I get a complaint, and DoorDash gives you the opportunity to dispute the complaint. So I'm telling DoorDash, I took the order. Can't you see on the GPS that I drove all the way over to this person's house? Why would I do that and not give them their food? Don't y'all have like a record of where we were driving? Well, they do. So they gave me a pass on that, but the representative that I spoke to said, take a picture of everything. Just take a picture of it. Keep it for 10 days, and then when there's no disputes, then get rid of it. Delete it, or whatever you want to do, but take a picture of everything. Okay, fine. That makes sense. So I do. I take a picture of everything, and I've had Charles's people complain. Oh, you got to take a picture. Listen, sometimes I want to go, I know that you work for Charles and Dave and Lucius and those guys, and they had to order to get me, and they're going to have me hand you the food, and then you're going to lie. So yeah, I'm going to take a picture. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, do you want me to say that just directly? What is it you want me to do? So I take the picture, and then I load it into Dropbox, and there's only a few people that have access to it. One is attorneys, my attorneys. So last night, I take the pictures, I'm loading them, and they're freaking out. My guys tell me they're freaking out right now. Oh shit, we wanted her pulled over. If the pictures are already to her attorney, we can't do this. Your plan that you had, that was illegal. So that recording also was played for the judge this morning. And you were told to get the fuck out of my phone. How would you know? You mean you're not supposed to know when I'm working or where I'm working. And the only way that you could is you're a hacker and a voyeur. Little peeping Tom, a little pathetic. And the only way that you could get your people to get me as the driver to use anything at all that happens at my work, when I take a food or pick up food or take it, would be you hacked my app and you get around an algorithm. Because drivers are chosen random by algorithm. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I'm not going to get somebody that you know that you had call in. And you also limit my income. Well, guess what? When I'm dancing, and you know, Judge Eagan on my breach of contract case says in her order, Cynthia didn't file any evidence. Well, I had about 2 hours before. Matt Powell calls up to the courthouse. They recorded him talking. I mean, you guys are so many fucking investigatory orders. It's not even funny. When you don't have a leak, there's that. So he calls up there, and there, what's happened here? Finds out I did take it. It was put on the magistrate's judge's desk, and nobody bothered to tell Judge Eagan. So Judge Eagan kind of made a fool of herself, and that's not the only way, because there was no res judicata. In the 10th Circuit, we understand the judges that signed off on the denied appeal didn't even see it. Mr. Perry paid a law clerk to do that order. So any FBI agent listening to these, because Mr. Perry claims this is harassment and this is the crime, you need to look into it, because it'll come out in another case, what he did there. So, and then I'll refile my breach based on fraud upon a court. It's when the officers of the court, there's a whole intrinsic and extrinsic fraud thing, but the courts have ruled that when the judge and or attorneys who are officers of the court commit the fraud, you got a problem. You made a phone call, because the order doesn't make any sense. None of them do. So you're going to have to explain that in your criminal case. And I've told you, Mr. Perry's typing in my phone last night. Check CJ. You check it. If you're so insane about looking at the CJ docket, go look at it. I don't care to. I don't know what it says, and I don't give a fuck. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. You're going to go to jail for that shit you did, because you lie. A lot of orders that you have, I wasn't there to argue my side. The judge is factually ignorant. Unfortunately, they chose to be that. They might go to jail with you, so what the fuck do I care? What the fuck do I give a shit, Mr. Perry? You need to wake up. I can quote you at the snap of a finger, including a judge or two. Somebody had that discussion. What's going to happen? I mean, does she need to do like a skiff or something? And I'm going to speak to that again. Can't do a skiff because the judges are involved. Can't do one. When I go into a court and I'm standing in front of a judge, I'm a sting up in that guy. Ask the traffic court guy. Ask traffic court. He got sting up that day. That was also, it was a hearing, but it was also a sting up, and he did it wrong. He fucked it up. And I'm going to leave it at that. We'll just see how that plays out on May 2nd. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right here. My guess is somebody will have a conversation with him about it. He pushed me on something. I went in and I said, I'm here to enter my plea of not guilty, and I need to file a request for discovery. Well, don't you want to talk to us about your insurance? I mean, we're a little leaning. I don't even have my car right now today. I'm not here for that, sir. What I'm here for, it's moot. I don't have it. As of right now today, I don't even have the car. So there's no point in getting into that, right? What I'm here today for, sir, is not guilty plea, need discovery. If I still have the car and you're trying to make sure I'm not driving around without insurance, I can understand your question, but I don't have the car, sir, so it's moot. But why push me on that? I'm not here for that. What I'm here for, sir, is for a motion for discovery. It's a yes or no. It's a fucking yes or no. And not guilty. I'm putting my plea in, not guilty. That's it. So we need to go to court on the 2nd. And it'll be a sting up as much as it is a hearing, I promise. You have my word. Every interaction right now is. Because you're trying, any reasonable, prudent individual can see, I'm not going to check the CJ case, shove it up your ass. You have committed perjury after perjury after perjury after perjury, an illegal backroom deal and we know that. Everybody knows that. You think everybody's as stupid as you, and they are not, sir. They're sickened by what you've done to me in court. Sickened by it. I can get information at the snap of a finger, and you can't. I'm naming your people, and you can't name even one of mine, and you need to figure out how very sick and tired of you everybody is. So what'd you want me pulled over for? Again, I'll tell you one thing. When I'm driving down the street near one of the orders that I needed to pick up, there were 20 cops. I bet you 20 cops. I mean, I didn't sit there and count them. In 2 different groups with a car very similar to mine. Both of them. Both groups. And I'm like, wow. But unfortunately, I gave my attorney the pictures. At which point you guys, well, it doesn't do any good to have her pulled over again. If she has given her attorney the pictures, we needed that to work. And we needed it done before 11. We heard ya. Because I can get the information at the snap of a finger, Geppetto. What good did your sorcery do you there? I have your name. I've never met you that I know of. Does she have sage? I have God. I have God. The Most High God whom you defy. So there's this. 40 of us, most are Christians. One of them has a granny. I will say this. When Mike Neely was found guilty, she screamed and cried, and her grandson told me it took a while to get her to eat. She was so upset. And but we keep in mind, Joseph, what you meant for evil, God will use for his good. He's got to learn something in there that will benefit him for the rest of his life. He's got a calling on his life and a job to do, just like Joseph did. Joseph saved 2 nations from starvation, Israel and Egypt. And he became second in command of one of the most powerful countries in the world at its time. And his brothers bowed to him in the palace, not the lame backyard. And I'm going to remind you of that. I've already told that story a lot. I'm not going to repeat it. In the palace, his brothers bowed to him. And so that's what your jail did for that one. And it will be the same for Mike. You're not gonna defeat God. You're not gonna win that, Geppetto, and you know that. You are bullshitting yourself, and you don't see people lining up to serve Satan because you're weirdos, all of you. But you got Joel Osteen's churches packed out every Sunday. Hell, a lot of people watch him on television. And Joel Osteen, I'm going to tell you right now, he's a man. He's just a dude. He's not perfect. He's not perfect at all. All he is doing is talking about God. He's just a dude talking about God. It just so happens that God is good. And people want to hear about God because he's good. He's everything you're not. And that's that. That's the bottom line right there. Joel Osteen is not a perfect anything. Nobody is. He's just a man who gets on TV and talks about the God he loves very much and who loves him back. And all of us, and even you, weird as you might be. Okay, so there's this. He's been lying about having Huntington's disease. He actually has Huntington's, not Tourette's. His health is in decline. 3 weeks he kept trying to force her out to that club so he could kidnap her and make her be in a photo shoot to cover up the forgery and make her family try to talk her into it. 3 weeks. And he said, at this point, there's no way. This girl's doing without food. We did confirm that her ex-husband was here last weekend and bought her a whole bunch of food. But what's happened is that before that, she wouldn't even eat. That's how much she does not want to do this. That's how much he's having to try to force her. The governor came down on the wrong side of this. Y'all were talking about that earlier today with the pullover. These are things we got before, Mr. Perry, not after. I can quote you at the snap of a finger before, Mr. Perry, not after, because you're pissing people off with your crime. People don't like crime. What made you think they'd like yours? You're a creepy little fuck. You're just a creepy little fuck. And you don't have a cover-up when you do it to me. You don't have one. You don't get your lie, and you don't get your cover-up, and you don't get a date. You don't get shit. You get told on and told on and told on, and that's all you've gotten for 10 years, every day, all fucking day long. And it's pissing people off that that's what you can't figure out. Everyone's sick and tired of you. They don't like what you're doing. You're a monster. You're a fucking monster. So, you don't have a life. You got to watch people on TV that, on your little TV, that do have a life. You're boring. You're lame. And you're stupid. And you're a coward. And you're pussy. And you're pathetic. And you give no thought to human life. I'm sitting here without food for 6 months. I lived in my car. And I went days with no food. And no bath. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce and assault. Because I have a blood sugar problem, and you know that. And it could kill me not to eat right. And you know that too, and you don't care. So you'll also be charged with assault and battery every day, or assault every day. Maybe even attempted murder, he said. He goes, I might be able to make attempted murder work. For every day that I didn't have food and shelter. Because you want to force me to lie. And you want to force me to be trafficked. And I said no. You don't get your cooperation. You don't get a cover-up. And you don't get a lie. We get information. You get told on. It's the same thing every day, you stupid little fuck. That is embarrassing. That by now you can't get the cause and effect. Same and different before and after. That's what people are mad that you can't figure out. There's no hints. Why would there be a hint? As soon as I wake up this morning. Is it your mom? Is it the people at the club? Is it your school? Who's telling on me? Oh my God. Why would I help you? Why the fuck would I help you? I want for you to be gone. My goal, their goal, you're in jail. And you don't hurt anybody ever again. Ever. And you never fucking bother me ever again. There won't be any more questions. I can wake up and I have my privacy. And I can have a cup of coffee without you bothering me. Right? I can pick up my phone and type something. And you're not there to bother me. Take CJ. Is it your mom? Who's helping you? Who's telling on me? Why? I mean, I'll finally be able to not have to live like that. And go out my car. You know, the last time I ran from a cop was when I was a little kid. My dad was going to spank my ass. I don't run from cops. So why is it that last night I got to worry about, am I going to get pulled over again? Am I going to get targeted again because there's something on my phone? They had me take a picture of one of their people and they want that cop to do something with it? I mean, what the fuck is that? I wasn't worried about it. I drove by a bunch of cops. I sat right next to one for quite a while. waiting for a DoorDash order to come in. Sat right next to him. So it wasn't like I was running from cops. But after we heard that conversation and then I'm driving to take an order somewhere, I'm looking around. I'm like, look at this. There's about 4 cops right there with a car pulled over exactly like mine. And across the street down a little bit, there's about 4 more with a car pulled over very similar to mine. So what is that? What am I supposed to think? Right after I hear that conversation, what the fuck am I supposed to think? You gonna target me again because you had somebody? I took a picture of somebody taking food just in my job, just doing a normal job normal people do, and that was supposed to be used for something. The only problem is I had the intelligence or whatever, or a tip off or whatever I had. I'm not gonna tell you to put it in the Dropbox file where my attorneys can get to it immediately before I got pulled over. Do that again today. I dare you. Do it again today. I dare you. Give us just a little more, Mr. Perry. Let us prove that you're hacking my Dasher app and trying to make me broke and trying to do shit like that. Do it one more time, please. Would you? We could just use a little bit more evidence against you to bury you in it, in what you've done in a court of law. And to prove that you are perjuring yourself in your little CJ case. Do it. I dare you. Alright? I don't know who the fuck you think you're fooling. Nobody with a brain, that's for sure. So, we got more this morning talking about we got to get her family. Should we use Corky or Craig to try to make her leave Oklahoma? She just keeps catching our crime. Which one of those two do you think we should use? None of the above. None of the above. What do you think I'm going to say? They come to me and try to, you need to leave the state. What do you think I would say, Mr. Perry? Oh, I see Charles called you. We did say. I told you so. It's not an afterthought. I'm saying it now. I said it before. I didn't say it just once. I said it over and over and over and over and over. And so did this guy. So did this person we're quoting here, dumbass. You're just not all there. It's very frustrating. I didn't invite you to Oklahoma. Get your ass out of here. Go, Jackie and your Jordan and Matthew need to take care of you and your mental whack job problem. Get it off me. You're sliming and icking your shit all over people in a state you don't live in and were never invited to. And you're pathetic. You're a pathetic loser, nothing. Do you understand that? You are a nobody. You don't matter. I do. Write it down. I can get information at the snap of a finger. And you can't get shit. Everybody hates you. You need to understand how sick and tired of you everybody is. So nobody should have to live like that. I go to work and I gotta fucking run from the fucking cops. Which one did you call in to be your bitch this time? They don't all like that. There's some of them tell you no, and we know that. We've quoted them too. They told you no. So which one did you want to be your bitch this time? Huh? Yeah, whatever. So, we got all this. A lot of them don't want to be your bitch. That one guy is like, he's nutty. He's like diagnosed nutty. Yes. He wants her to make her apologize and make her lie. And she already knows, and she said no. Yes. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, you may not have a choice. Oh, hell yeah, I do. I'm a cop. I'm a police officer. I absolutely have a choice. And I am not going to put my name on a whack job's bad decision. Find some other schmuck to do it. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he was a little nicer than I'm being. But that's pretty much what he said. Tell him I said, go fuck yourself. Thank God for guys like that. Got some balls. Okay, so there's this. He said, you're not to invade her privacy. You don't contact her or her family, directly or indirectly, in any way, shape, or form, at all, ever again. She's not to be broke anymore and have to ask for money. Get off your ass, you sick fuck pervert, and go work and be with your family. And you leave me and mine alone. Nobody invited you here. And every day that you've bothered me, we get more. We find out more, and you're giving us more to get. Nobody asked you what you think. We're all sick of it. Everybody's sick and tired of you, and that's what you need to understand. When and where I work is none of your business. Doesn't concern you one bit. Nobody's bothering you. You're getting caught bothering me. And every time you do it, we get more and more and more and more and more. And this guy, I'm glad I got it on the record before she, yeah, whatever. And this whole conversation about governors can't claim to be for domestic violence if he's not doing. This is the worst domestic violence case I've seen ever, the guy said. And he hasn't done shit. He hasn't done fuck. So, oh well, he'll have to explain that too, won't he? Yeah, we don't care. We care about the people that have the balls and the courage to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that's that. If you don't like getting kicked in the teeth while you're raping a woman who doesn't like you, then get off the woman and get the fuck out of her house. Princess. Otherwise, go call your mommy. Maybe she cares. No one else cares.
Please. Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.